Boundaries are not restrictions, shields, or walls that we build to keep others out. Rather, they define personal space, whether physical or emotional. They create a space where we feel safe and operate from our authentic selves. They allow us to separate our emotions from others in certain situations and create more meaningful connections. Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today. I'm your host, Tulip Saad. So, how can you create and maintain healthy boundaries within your personal and business life? And how do you know when these boundaries need to be rigid and not negotiable for your health and well-being? Or when can you be flexible? Where do you begin? Today, I'll take you through 3 processes to developing the skills for creating healthy boundaries, allowing you to be more resourceful and build better, healthier, and meaningful relationships with those around you. When you are ready to create boundaries, the first thing to consider is to identify your values and needs. These are 2 very different things, but they work together to help you determine what's important to you, what needs are lacking, and how these needs can be met so you can feel safe, happy, and relaxed to enjoy your life freely. What is the difference between values and needs? Values are what is deeper behind what we hold to be important and dear to our hearts. Let me explain. We say we value family and friendship. What we are really saying is that we value what family and friendship bring to us, which might be belonging, nurturing relationships, or unconditional love. Values are the essence of what is important to us. Needs, on the other hand, are the things that need to happen to achieve what we want. Sometimes it could be simple as sleeping more, eating healthy, or having personal time. Needs are the essentials for our well-being. Once you determine and be clear about your values and needs, it becomes much easier to create appropriate boundaries around them. The second thing is to prioritize your self-care and well-being. We were just talking about identifying your needs, which we can call them self-care strategies for our well-being. Consider asking yourself, what is more important to you right now? Ask yourself this question whenever you are in a situation where you want to prioritize your need or self-care strategy. It can help clarify priorities in any given situation. For example, let's say you decided that you need to sleep earlier than usual because you have an important meeting tomorrow. Before turning your light off, you get this phone call from a friend of yours. Are you going to prioritize your sleep and let her know some way or another that you guys can talk some other time? Or will you take the call for the next 2 hours because she needs you for an important matter of hers? Or let's say you promised your daughter to go with her to the movies on Friday night. Then one of your colleagues asked you if you could stay a little later that evening to help her with a project that she's working on. Are you going to help your colleague with her project and not fulfill your needs to maintain a healthy relationship with your daughter? Or will you politely apologize to your colleague because you have prior engagement? There is a big difference between being kind, nice, and helpful and being a people pleaser and a doormat for others to abuse your kindness. Setting boundaries is also a form of self-respect and will protect you from being taken advantage of. Once you know what is important to you and what your needs are, communicate them clearly so it will be easier for others to understand and respect them. The third process is to create a healthy balance between your yeses and your nos. Setting boundaries can be difficult and even scary and confusing for some because creating your own boundaries is like creating your own emotional line in the sand that tells others to follow it. Sometimes it takes much energy, deep thinking, and a lot of trial and error until you figure out what is best for you. I am sure you've heard about learning to practice the healthy no, which is essential in abusive or emotionally draining situations. Still, sometimes life is not black and white, and there is always this gray area where you are not sure what to do and what are the appropriate boundaries to set in some situations. So consider asking yourself these questions when you are confused about setting some boundaries. Who are these people? Not everyone in your life will be treated equally. The boundaries that you set in your relationships at work will differ from those in your personal life. What are the appropriate boundaries to set? Certain people you must keep out of your life. Some keep them at a distance, and other will be close to you. Those are the people you trust and have in your close circle with whom you can create open, loving, and not judgmental relationships. I understand it is not easy at the beginning for you to start creating boundaries and implementing them. You might find resistance from others and sometimes frustration because change is not easy for all parties involved. But be consistent and persistent in setting your boundaries. Eventually, they will understand you and understand where you stand. It is important that you treat yourself as your best friend so you can find joy, happiness, and a balanced lifestyle with great, meaningful, healthy